26 seats of Gujarat go to polls in phase 3 of the Lok Sabha elections. Both the BJP and the Congress are in direct contest in the state of Gujarat. Now in 2014, the Modi wave helped the BJP make a clean sweep in a state where they're already strong. The party won all 26 seats. However, in the 2017 Gujarat Assembly polls, the BJP saw a pushback, which has made the Congress hope for a breach in this Modi stronghold. To talk more about the key issues and big fights in Gujarat, I'm speaking today with Himanshu Bhayani, a journalist and founder of Dateline Gujarat. I'm also joined by Professor Sebastian of IIM Ahmedabad and Mahesh Langa, senior assistant editor at The Hindu. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for speaking with us on Primetime Debate, where we're covering the elections. Mahesh, let me begin by asking you what the situation on the ground is like. Now, Gujarat is known as a Modi stronghold, but 2014 was the only year in a long time, or ever, I think, that the BJP swept all 26 seats. Even in that dismal performance for the Congress, it still had a 33% vote share. Are they hoping for a better performance after the assembly elections in 2017?
Well, certainly, yes. Notwithstanding the natural edge that BJP enjoys in Gujarat, on account of Prime Minister himself being from the state, Congress is hoping that it will be able to gain at least 5 to 6 seats in the state, which is which is not witnessing any kind election like scenario in the state. In Saurashtra, you have rural distress, agrarian crisis, pretty much same in North Gujarat. So, Congress is hoping that it will be able to not only breach Modi's fortress, but also get 5 to 6 seats, which is almost 25% less than what BJP got last time, Tamanna.
This is an interesting idea, and let me come to Sebastian on this. In the 2017 elections, of course, the BJP did go on to form the government, but the Congress managed to sort of make gains because of the issue of rural distress. Right now, in the parliamentary elections, the promise for the voters is to re-elect Modi as Prime Minister, who is son of the soil in Gujarat. Does that Gujarati Asmita and Gujarati pride override issues of rural distress like they did in the assembly elections? Because at that time, it was another chief minister who was in the dock, so to speak.
Well, that's a very important factor. And, what that does is the adverse factors from the point of view of the BJP, the economic adverse factors, and especially what Mahesh already talked about, the rural distress, but also the collapse of manufacturing, of general economic activity, which were all moving in that direction, and they still continue to be adverse for the BJP. This particular aspect, this Asmita that you talked about, could actually shave off that a little bit of the advantage that Congress has. But my sense is that the economic forces are very, very powerful here, and and those one has to be around to witness it. Much of the data may not be quite right, so that would have a severe effect. If you, for instance, look at agriculture, while output has been kind of marginally better than the previous years and so on, with of course high variation, the terms of trade, that means the prices have fallen so adversely for the agriculturists that they have been hurt quite badly, including some of the bigger agricultural interests. Similarly, in manufacturing, manufacturing has all but collapsed in India, growing at no more than 4.5%. If you go by the indices and not by the GDP. And in Gujarat, my sense is it's worse because Gujarat is essentially a manufacturing-oriented state, and all this would have had tremendous negative effects on the government of the day. But as you said, the Modi factor plus the the polarization, in a sense, the kind of anti-Muslimism that reigns very fairly strongly within Gujarat, these may kind of compensate a bit for it. Let me also add that the tribals and the scheduled castes are up in arms. Okay, so that goes beyond the economics. that has to do a lot with, UNA and such other events. And, with the BJP seem to be playing a kind of role in mitigating this or coming out and making the settlements, because typically uh, people who have been involved are a very strong base for the BJP.
Okay.
And this has perhaps not gone well with a lot of the tribals and the SCs. And perhaps many of them see this as an opportunity, if nothing else, at least to temporarily kind of get back at the BJP for having implicitly, kind of gone ahead or looked the other way or
Yeah.
allowed these things to happen.
So farmer distress, tribals, minorities, these could be, vulnerable areas for the BJP. Let me bring Himanshu in here. There is a sense, Himanshu, that the Congress may have lost some of the gains they made in the assembly elections in 2017. Now, remember, a lot of those gains were also because of the three youth leaders they had co-opted, right? Hardik Patel, Jignesh Mevani, Alpesh Thakur. Now, Hardik can't fight the elections, though he's campaigning. Alpesh Thakur has switched. And then that leaves Jignesh Mevani. They've also been poached. There have been a lot of Congress MLAs that have been poached by the BJP. Has the Congress failed to retain its 2017 assembly poll gains?
Let me tell you something over here. The entire erosion in the political system of Gujarat, if you call from 1996, the way BJP has been in power in the state of Gujarat, the political erosion and the distress has started somewhere in 2015. And 2015, if we saw the civic body polls, there was a kind of a resistance which happened from there. And you saw that civic body polls, most of them were with the Congress. The resistance was felt somewhere in 2017, and there was again an erosion. And if Surat would have not brought that cushion, I think BJP would have had a real tough time to even get the majority to prove its majority to form a government in the state of Gujarat. Now, this is what I see when I talk to the people in the rural belts, mainly in Saurashtra Kutch region. I'm presently today in Rajkot, and my work area is mainly Saurashtra Kutch and Gujarat. So when I talk to people in Saurashtra Kutch region, what I see is that there is a clear-cut message that there is a rural distress, there are farm issues, crop insurance issues are there are issues of minimum support price. So this is something what is happening. Now, as far as the three young leaders go, today they are not there. But if you see, Hardik Patel is somebody who is aggressively campaigning for Congress. We saw he was being slapped at Surendra Jignesh Mevani is back in action into the tribal and the Dalit belt in South Gujarat. Alpesh Thakur, again, the things are not clear with him. But by and large, what I have seen is that the people within Gujarat in the rural belts have started campaigning. It's not this time, for the first time, I see that the political party campaigning is not that powerful, the foot-to-foot work or, the house-to-house work. Because let me tell you, Tamanna, I have been covering elections since 1996 into the state of Gujarat, since BJP is in power. I have seen the election temperament, and you ask today anybody in Gujarat. While I got this call to come on the live at the Bloomberg Quint, I was sitting with one goldsmith, and he was also telling me the same thing, कि कहीं माहौल नहीं दिख रहा है election का. So there is no, as such, the campaigning mood which is seen or which is felt, except the public rallies which happened of Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi. The last two press conferences happened on Saturday in Rajkot by Ahmed Patel, and there was a answering press conference by Vijay Rupani, the chief minister. But there is no clarity as to what will happen. They both are confident. BJP is confident that there will be no erosion in the 26 seats. Congress is confident to cross a double digit. But what I see in this scenario and this situation, there will be a dent of at least 6 seats, minimum and maximum 9 seats across Gujarat, because there are lots of bad fruits in North Gujarat. There are some bad fruits in South Gujarat. There are some bad fruits in Central Gujarat and Saurashtra. They have tried to control the damage areas by bringing in some leaders in Junagadh from Congress to BJP, like they brought in Jasdan, like they imported some leaders from Jamnagar, because these are the areas, these are low-lying areas or kind of, very sensitive areas when it comes for the BJP dent, which happened in 2015 and 2017. So the three leaders may not play much a role, but I agree largely with Sebastian sir, what he said, that the kind of data which is coming, there is a kind of job loss. There has been issues post demonetization and GST. So how this all really, translates when it comes to the voting booth, कल क्या होगा किसी को पता नहीं है. कल suddenly there is some message which will go viral, and you never know how the voting pattern suddenly changes in Gujarat. The way we have analyzed the numbers, 2014, I mean, if you see the kind of voter turnout, and if you see the kind of voter share, it's phenomenal. There was a wave, you can clearly see it. So you don't know this see, the government is constantly in a campaigning mode. So tomorrow there is something which happens. Can you imagine? I mean, a Sri Lankan blast. The blast in Sri Lanka is connected to, I mean, it's been talked in Gujarat that dekho aisa hota hai, waisa hota hai. So these things become somewhere a kind of elements of polarization. The majority vote bank moves out. It comes out in major quantum.
There is the principle of diminishing law of returns. So in a state like Gujarat,
precisely.
And let me come to Sebastian Morris on it. In a state like Gujarat, where polarization and the othering, so to speak, has been a big issue, how much more is there to sort of wring out of it? And also the second part of that question, how big an issue is national security? It is a border state after all. So have issues like the Balakot strikes, etc., are they resonating in a bigger way than the regular joblessness and post demonetization kind of issues? Let me get Sebastian Morris to answer that first. No, I'm not getting your audio. I'm not getting your audio, Mr. Morris. We're going to fix that. Let me take that question to Mahesh meanwhile. Mahesh, when you're speaking to people, are you seeing national security as a major issue as is being reflected in some of the campaign speeches there?
Well, the ruling party BJP has been contesting election on national issues like terrorism and national security, nationalism, and those issues. So BJP is trying to make the elections on these issues, but when Prime Minister was talking about these issues, I could not see he was able to establish connect with masses the way he used to do in the last parliamentary elections. So those issues are important, and BJP is raising those issues, but it seems that on the ground people are more interested in daily bread butter issues like crop insurance, as Himanshu mentioned, which is a massive issue in Saurashtra and North Gujarat. People are not getting their crop insurance from the private insurance companies. Then since Gujarat has been facing drought like situation for last 2 years, there is a shortage of water for drinking as well as for irrigation. So those are the issues, people, and of course lower MSPs. So people are not realizing, good prices for groundnut and cotton, which are two main crops in the state. So these are the issues that, people talk about. Whether we don't know whether people at the end of the day people will national issues, and particularly the fact that since Prime Minister is from Gujarat, he is a son of the soil, and is the Gujarat has got Prime Minister after decades. If that consideration overtakes other considerations, then of course BJP will sweep. But otherwise, if daily issues like crop insurance, lower MSP, and agrarian crisis, then I think we may see repeat of what happened in the assembly elections.
So on the one hand, you have security issues. Himanshu, you've been talking about how there may be a dent of 5 to 6 seats. On the other hand, what is the opposition presenting, or what is its USP? Is the Nyay scheme, for example, going a long way when the Congress is going out to woo voters? Because remember, Gujarat is one of those few states which is, a head-to-head battle between the Congress and the BJP. And even at its worst, it's not like the Congress has been wiped out of Gujarat in terms of vote share.
Precisely. So if you see, the vote share has been stable of Congress these years. It's not that it's completely wiped out from the Gujarat. But let us understand two things over here. The commitments and the promise which were made in 2014. In 2012 state legislative assembly elections, the BJP workers had gone door to door saying that you are not electing the chief minister of Gujarat, you are electing the prime minister of India. And you got 26 seats in 2014. So 2012, the campaigning started actually for the Narendra Modi being presented as a prime minister, as a son of soil from Gujarat. As far as national security goes, you have rightly raised a point. I have been somebody who has been reporting these areas basically in my past career and border state. You have landlocked border state of Kutch. Banaskantha is one of the areas. There are issues. There is a sensitivity towards this particular issue when, that thing comes that this is the government which entered into the Pakistan domain, into the Pakistan territory, did airstrikes in Balakot and came back. So that definitely that thing has a kind of a merit when it comes to a class which believes that, yes, this is for the first time the government did and it happened when it's being talked to them in that direction. So let us understand these issues are there. But having said that, Tamanna, from tomorrow, the real litmus test for BJP starts, because tomorrow is that third phase where BJP has its dominance, its vote bank. The lotus has bloomed in those areas. So let us see how these people are buying this issue of national security over, the job loss, or I think over, basically some areas of whatever you call it in terms of GST or demonetization or the farm sector issues. So we'll come to know tomorrow, actually, by the end of the day, is the voter turnout increasing, it is decreasing, and by 23rd May, the things would be very much clear whether people have bought the issue of national security or people have really counted on the issues like job loss, farm sector issues, and kind of things. Having said that, again, the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he said everything about how the government has performed in last 5 years, and the Congress leader Ahmed Patel clearly asked on kya hisab hai in 5 saalon mein. So Congress is asking, what have you done in 5 years? And BJP is talking, what have we done in 5 years? But neither of the leaders are clearly able to tell that the voter turnout will increase or the vote share will increase.
Okay. Mahesh, let me come back to, the question I'd asked a little while earlier of whether the Congress has failed or managed to hold on to the gains they made after the 2017 assembly elections, where it seems that over the last few months or so, the party has been in disarray, especially things like the Patidar issue, which are no longer resonating. The 10%, general category quota may have completely deflated that issue.
Well, that's right. Patidar quota is no longer an issue in the election in the national elections. As you said, Congress is facing a leadership crisis in the state. There is no, after its impressive performance in the assembly elections, it has not been able to capitalize on its increased mass base and revive the party for the national elections. In last 2 months, 6 senior MLAs of the party have left. 5 of them have joined BJP. Alpesh Thakur has resigned from the party but has not joined BJP. But very soon he may be joining BJP. So there is a leadership crisis in the Congress, and as you know, Congress remains divided among its various groups. So those are the issues, those are the challenges before the opposition party. But again, if you see 2017 assembly election, Congress was equally divided. Just 3 months before the assembly elections, around a dozen legislators had defected to BJP during Ahmed Patel's Rajya Sabha election, and yet Congress had come out with an very solid performance in the assembly election.
So Mahesh, let me ask you a tough question. Do you think that the BJP will repeat to 26 on 26? And I'm asking you, of course, on the eve of that election. Do you think it's likely, seeing the situation right now?
Well, I don't think BJP is going to repeat what it had got in last parliamentary elections.
Himanshu, do you agree with that? You, I think, made a similar statement earlier. Is a clean sweep going to be tough for the BJP?
No, I'll come to this. See, let me tell you, we have number crunched some data, and basically when we number crunch the data of 2009, 2014 and 2019 in terms of voters, number of voters, 2009 had 3 crore 60 lakh voters, 2014 had 4 crore voters, and 2019 has 4 crore 45 lakh voters. So clearly there is a rise in the population, there is a rise in the voting, the voting population also. And when we see some patterns of 1% minus or 1% plus, even in a 1% minus situation, the number of voters going to polling booths are increasing. Now, how does BJP really try to convince them, or Congress really try to convince them, how the youth voters are behaving? You know, the job loss is the big issue. I mean, a city like Ahmedabad, when you're talking gift city, when you're talking this sort of a development, it does not face anywhere into the job boards, into the job board card reports. So, I mean, these issues, urban issues, rural issues, farm issues, how this is making an impact based on that. But as I say, the rural sector resistance, which I see at this situation at this time, at least 6 to 9 seats, and this I've been telling since just done by polls, the way Congress has been working with the teamwork, and if they continue to work with the same thing, and I mean, tomorrow is the day where Gujarat is going to cast its vote. So in this situation where the rural distress is there, the kind of resistance which comes from the rural belts, BJP has definitely tried to manage it, but still I see a dent of 6 to 9 seats, 6 minimum and 9 seats maximum. Let us see how it pans tomorrow.
Yeah,
what happens,
let's see. I finally got Sebastian back. I finally got Sebastian back. Sebastian, you missed some of that. We're concluding the debate, but of course, your concluding remarks on what you think will happen. Yeah. And do you think the 26 on 26 is impossible to repeat for the BJP?
I think 26 on 26 is foregone, would not happen. The question is how much would it fall by? See, the main point to recognize is this: the SCs and particularly the tribals were quite a bit behind the BJP. I mean, they were both part of the Congress voting set as well as the BJP. My sense is they've almost entirely gone against the BJP, and that would make a huge difference in mind, because the Muslims really are not swing voters. Where they would be voting. So all that taken into account, there's a new split which has come within Gujarat, that is the SCs and the STs, don't see eye to eye despite all the kind of attempts to woo them and so on. And the set of events, including this whole hyper activity around cows and leather and all of that has hurt. Let me give you one example. The sheer ban on, let's say, export of meat, goat meat from and goats from Kandla port, misusing the state, has led to vast income losses among the Muslims. Sure, but it has also led to vast income losses among SCs and others who are involved, in goat rearing and that sort of thing. And this kind of certain groups, some of it consciously, but some of it acting as a spillover, may have actually hurt the BJP far more than what we recognize. So, even if there is, not very effective leadership to capture or kind of hold on to these spillovers, my sense is that there would be a lot of movement away from the BJP. And whether the Congress is able to capitalize on that or not, one would not know. But my sense is 26 is out of question. The question is whether it will be 5, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. So that would depend. Cities would still, my sense is, go very strongly with the BJP.
All right, it's a tighter contest than was expected in the BJP stronghold of Gujarat. Is considered a safe state. 26 on 26 is what they swept at the height of the Modi wave. There will definitely be an appeal to the people of Gujarat to bring back their son of soil as Prime Minister, but will other economic issues outweigh this, and can the Congress, or has the Congress, managed to get its act together? The answers will be in with how the voters choose tomorrow itself. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on this show today.